Have you ever generated a song in Suno that you loved, but the mix came out muddy, or the vocals got buried? We've all been there. But Suno Studio actually has a tool built specifically for shaping your sound, the Track EQ. So today, I'm going to break it down piece by piece, so you can start cleaning up your mixes, bringing your vocals forward, and making your songs sound more polished. So, what is EQ? Well, EQ stands for Equalization. It's a tool that controls the balance of different sound frequencies in your audio. Think of it like highly precise tone controls for your music. Now, every sound you hear is made of frequencies, and we can group those frequencies into three main areas. First, we have low frequencies, also known as the bass. These are the deep sounds like kick drums and bass guitars. Next, we have mid-frequencies, or the mids, where your vocals, guitars, and pianos live. Finally, we have high frequencies, also called the treble. This is where you hear hi-hats, cymbals, all that sparkle and clarity. And the EQ simply lets you boost or cut any of these areas. In general, we use EQ for 5 main reasons. To clean out unwanted frequencies, like low rumble or noise. To give each instrument its own space, so everything sounds clearer. To fix a mix that came out dull, harsh, or muddy. To shape things creatively, like brighter vocals, deeper bass, or punchier drums. And to help everything sit together, so your instruments are not all fighting for the same space. And the best part? In Suno Studio, this is all built right into the Track EQ. It's a simple way to polish an AI song without needing complex music production software or extra plugins. Okay, let's get to it. I'm here in my Suno library. On this song here, I'll click Remix Edit and hit Open in Studio. Now our song is on the timeline, and over on the right, you've got 2 tabs, Clip Settings and Track Settings. The Suno EQ lives inside Track Settings, so let's open that up. Here, let's expand the section, and you can see a toggle switch on the EQ, which we will keep on. Now, let's look at the frequency graph. The horizontal x-axis is frequency, representing the pitch of the sound. It runs from low on the left to high on the right, in hertz and kilohertz. The vertical y-axis is gain, measured in decibels. This controls the volume of specific frequencies. Moving a point upward boosts the volume, while dragging it downward reduces the volume. So if you drag a point up, you boost that frequency. If you drag it down, you cut that frequency. To start, there's a flat blue line running across the middle, with a few small circular points along it. Those points are your EQ bands. You can grab any one of these bands and drag it directly on the graph to shape your sound. And just below the graph, there's a little readout that shows the exact frequency, gain, and Q value of whichever band you've selected. Alright, enough theory, let's actually hear it. I'm gonna play our track on the timeline and listen to how moving these bands changes the output sound. First, let's test the low frequencies by boosting and reducing the gain. So when we boost the low end, you can hear the deep rumble of the bass line and the drum swell, giving the track a lot of physical weight. But when we pull that gain down, the track starts to sound thin and weaker. Okay, now, let's do the same thing with the high frequencies.
Steel pan dancing round my dogs. Now your bingy drums say stay. Good day rising, good day rising. Call my name and I answer back. Good day.
Now, as we boost the high frequencies, the cymbals and hi-hats get much brighter. But when we drop the gain here, the track starts to sound muffled, losing clarity. Under the graph, there's a row of shape icons. These are your filter types, and they change how the EQ curve behaves at each point. There are 6 main filter shapes, and each one does something different for a specific point. High pass cuts the lows and lets the highs through. This is perfect for clearing out low-end rumble or unnecessary bass. Low pass does the opposite. It keeps the lows and rolls off the highs. This is useful when you want to darken a sound or reduce harsh top end. The peak filter with this bell shape boosts or cuts one focused area, like a little hump or dip on the graph. This works well for both creative shaping and fixing problem frequencies. Next, you have the notch filter, which is a tight, narrow cut at one exact spot. It's great for removing one annoying frequency without changing the rest of the sound too much. A low shelf filter lifts or drops everything below a certain point, and a high shelf does the same thing at the top. At the bottom of the panel, there are 3 control knobs: the frequency knob on the left, the gain knob in the middle, and the resonance or Q knob on the right. Simply, they give you a more controlled way to adjust the currently selected band. The frequency knob determines where the selected band sits horizontally on the graph. When you turn this knob, the selected control point moves left or right. Moving left targets lower frequencies, and moving right reaches higher frequencies. The gain knob controls the vertical movement of the selected band. When you turn this knob, the control point moves up or down. Moving it upward raises the EQ curve and boosts that frequency area. And moving it downward lowers the curve and cuts that frequency area. The resonance or Q knob controls how wide or narrow the curve is around your selected band, so adjusting it changes the shape around the control point. You might notice that when you select certain filters, like the notch, high pass, low pass, your gain knob becomes unavailable. In this Suno equalizer, the gain knob normally controls how much a band is boosted or reduced at its center point. However, these specific filter types are designed only to cut frequencies, not to boost them. Because they perform a fixed reduction, a gain adjustment is not necessary here, so the gain control is automatically disabled. And hey, if you want to shape the overall tone of your song quickly, you can use Suno's built-in EQ presets. Each preset automatically adjusts multiple bands to produce a specific sound character for your song. You've got a whole set here: high pass, warm, bright, bass boost, air, and more, each with its own flavor. You also get presets like lo-fi for a vintage filtered sound and modern for a cleaner contemporary tone. Let's switch between a few and hear what they do to our track on the timeline.
Sun kicks the gate wide open, bare feet blessing the ground. Tea in my old chipmunk, still I feel kingly crowned. Little smoke in the backyard air, big love in my small front room. Bill's still knocking on my brain.
Now, while these presets are great for quick fixes overall, applying them to a single stereo track can only do so much. For example, if you apply the bass boost preset on a fully mixed song, it boosts the bass on the entire track, even where you want clarity and brightness with high-frequency sound. When the low frequencies get too loud, they can drown out those highs you needed. But here's the good news. There is a way to fix this and get control. And in my next video, I'm gonna show you exactly how with a practical workflow. So that's the track EQ in Suno Studio. Honestly, the best way to get comfortable with it is to open up one of your own songs and start moving these bands and presets around. Even small changes add up. If this video helped you out, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. See you there.